Let's talk about employee retention credit for 2022 and the rate that people are claiming their employee retention credits. If you're a business and you kept employees through the pandemic, you continued to pay employees while times were tough and things were difficult, the government wants to compensate you for that valiant effort to hold our economy together, even during shutdowns and supply chain issues and all kinds of ways that businesses were affected. And a lot of people, there's only about 10% of businesses that have claimed their ERC or employment retention tax credits, ERTC, ERC, employment retention credits, employment retention tax credits. They're calling it all kinds of things, but it is the Employee Retention Credit Program introduced during with the CARES Act in 2019. But at the time, businesses were told that they had to choose either PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, or ERC, Employee Retention Program, or Employee Retention Credits. I apologize. It's a great morning. By the way, the mustache is for Mental Health Awareness Month, for Men's Mental Health Awareness, Movember, which means that we've got this month and one more month before 2022. And then we're going to be into the 2022 tax season. Now, what a lot of businesses don't understand, and this is why so few businesses that would qualify, that do qualify for ERC, why so few of them have applied, is because when ERC was introduced alongside the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, in the CARES Act in 2019, it was either or. And PPP was incredibly easy to apply for and obtain. It was a loan that the government would then forgive. And so the banks were incentivized to help businesses get that. ERC is different. And the banks, it's very complex, it's very complicated to apply for. If you want to ensure that you don't get any audits for the ERC, like a lot of people are now for PPP, they're finding, hey, wait, I think a lot of people got this PPP and it wasn't what the program was meant for, and the IRS is now going after those people. And so ERC is a playing field that a lot of businesses have not wanted to go anywhere near. Their CPAs haven't wanted to go near it, or they've started reading something like 87 pages of documentation on what the ERC is. And as they read through that, they get to page 17, page 27, and they're seeing things that suggest to them that your business would never qualify. And under that particular aspect, it's true. And so they stop reading. But what they're missing is that later on in like page 48, it explains you may not have qualified this way, but you could still qualify under this situation. And so there are businesses that are qualifying for ERC that never had full or partial shutdowns. And so they might read that early on and say, if you didn't have a government mandated shutdown, you do not qualify. But then later on they find, oh, under this clause, if your business suffered because of shutdowns somewhere else, maybe you only suffered through supply chain issues. Maybe you were never shut down, but you couldn't get masks for your business because everyone was out of masks, or you couldn't get hand sanitizer. Like the smallest little things where it's like, oh my gosh, this pandemic is affecting my business. There are a lot of ways that you can qualify for ERC. What you want to make sure that you're doing is not using a family doctor to do brain surgery. You want a specialist to do that. You want the world's best brain surgeon if you're going to get brain surgery. You want the world's best heart surgeon if you're going to get heart surgery. You don't go to your pediatrician for that. You might go to them for a recommendation for who is good at this, but you want the specialist. And with ERC, it's the exact same thing. You don't want to distract your CPAs from what they're doing and what they're good at and what they're meant to do for you to try to go and earn a PhD in ERC. And I know that's a lot of letters and acronyms, but what you want to do is you want to have your CPA work directly with the true experts, with the brain surgeon, heart surgeon, best in the world, and that is Jorns and Associates. And I'll link them down below. You can go and watch a 5-minute video. It'll be shorter than this and way more informative, but it will give you an idea if your business will qualify for up to $26,000 per W-2 employee for ERC. Now, another thing that changed in 2020 in the what was that called now? Consolidated Appropriations Act. They ratified ERC and PPP, where, if you remember, it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve, 14 days to flatten the curve, and all this stuff was supposed to be very temporary, and we were supposed to be one and done, out of the woods, no more COVID, no more problems. And instead of lasting for 2 weeks, it lasted for 2 years. And so they rectified the original CARES Act with the Consolidated Appropriations Act. This was voted on and passed. It's law now. $2.1 trillion set aside to help businesses that suffered for the CARES Act. And if they run out of that money, they'll just print more. There's actually no cap on it. That's part of the law. It's written into the law that this is how much they expect to spend. This is how much they've earmarked. But if they use all of that up, it's not like gone and done. It's okay, then we have to add more, and we have to keep adding more until everyone gets compensated for what they did to help our country during the pandemic. So this is your money, and the government's just trying to give it back to you. So you can use it if you're the business owner. You can use it in any way you want. If you love your employees and you want to be a great place to work, you might give them a Christmas bonus. And you might say, I already gave them a bonus. I kept paying them when we weren't making money. I kept them on the payroll so that they could pay their bills, but that means I wasn't able to buy the boat that I was planning on buying for my family that year. And so you can use these ERC funds. The average that people are getting, businesses are getting, they're averaging around $567,000 in ERC compensation. That's generally the average size of businesses is about 27 employees. And so some are getting way more than that, some are getting less than that. But if you have W-2 employees that you kept on payroll during the pandemic, you most likely qualify. And again, check the video down below for that. But you most likely qualify for employee retention credits from the government. Now, Jorns and Associates, like I was saying, can help you qualify for that. They are the best in the industry. They've done over $4 billion of claims that they've gotten back for their clients. And that puts them in the top 3. Out of those, in the top 10 that have done the most ERC claims, they're the only firm that is a CPA certified firm. So you're getting certified CPAs that specialize in ERC and nothing else. They're not doing work for other businesses. They have proprietary software, so they're not doing like bookkeeping and normal accounting work. All they're doing, having been qualified by the government, by the IRS, by whatever says this is a certified private accountant, personal accountant. They've reached those standards, and so they actually offer 5 years of 5 years backing up their claims, 5 years E&O insurance. And so they're insured, they're CPAs, they're going to stand behind their work for 5 years to ensure that if you did get audited, they're there to back you up. They're there to handle that audit and ensure that everything gets taken care of and straightened out. But they haven't had anyone getting audited. They have proprietary software that helps them do this and get on average about 20% more in ERC back for their clients than their next biggest competition. And what happened in the Consolidated Appropriations Act is they said, you know what, like I was explaining before, the pandemic has gone on longer than we expected, and so we're going to go ahead and open this up for businesses to now apply for ERC, even if they previously received PPP. What else is great is that they raised the full-time employee cap from 100 full-time employees to 500 full-time employees. So they're saying we're even going to let bigger businesses, 5 times as big, apply for this, and you can have unlimited part-time employees. So Jorns and Associates has done work for farms that had thousands of part-time employees, and they were able to get them ERC for each of those employees. They just have to be W-2, and they can even be on your books. You might say, well, I've got 520 full-time employees, or even 600 or 800 full-time employees. The way that it's actually calculated is they look at the hours that you paid. And so if people during the pandemic were taking time off because they're sick, and it works out that you had the equivalent of 500 times 40 hours worked each week, then that's what matters. And so you're taking the average of hours paid, and it doesn't even actually matter exactly how many employees you had. And I don't know exactly how that works, so that's something you'd want to check with Jorns and Associates, because they're the experts on that. But click the link below. It will take you to a page where you can watch their short 5-minute video, get more information than I've rambled on in 13 minutes here, and apply to see if you'd qualify for ERC. The great thing is you have absolutely nothing to lose. If you don't qualify, it costs you nothing. If you do qualify, then they take a commission on that, but they even give back the retainer fee. So they have their commission, they'll remove the retainer fee from that commission and send it back to you. And so it's pretty incredible. It absolutely costs you nothing at all. You do have to pay a retainer fee to show them that you're not just shopping around and wasting everybody's time, that you're serious. But I think when you see this video, you'll understand who you want to go with, that they really are the best choice, and you'll take it seriously anyway. But there's no need to shop around once you get to that point. You can shop around right now, check out the video, check out the company, look into it, message me if you've got any questions. Visit myerc.claims and get a hold of me there. But otherwise, check out that video, and I hope you get a ton of money for your business that you use in your business or your personal life, or a mixture of both. Whatever, the government is trusting you to be smart with that money and do what is best for you. Obviously, going out and buying a boat, if your business is struggling, it's not going to be what's best for you. But as a business owner, they're trusting you to make that decision on your own. So pretty incredible. And I hope you do well. God bless. We'll see you around.
Hello, this is Tony with Jorns & Associates. Today we'll be discussing the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. The ERC was first introduced in the $2.1 trillion CARES Act back in March of 2020. It earmarked up to $26,000 per employee for business owners who kept employees hired during the pandemic. This is a fully refundable tax credit against the employer portion of Social Security payroll taxes or the Medicare tax, depending on the period you're filing for. It's paid to you directly via a check. It's not a loan. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. You don't have to pay it back. And these funds are not earmarked. You don't need to use them for payroll or operating expenses. The ERC can be utilized at the discretion of the business owner. You claim the ERC by filing an amended 941X quarterly payroll tax return, claiming your credits on lines 18 and 26. There's several misconceptions about the ERC. Many owners do not think they'll qualify because they did not have a revenue decline, or maybe their revenue increased during the pandemic. Maybe they didn't experience any shutdowns, or they received PPP loans and those loans were forgiven. And while these are factors in the process, they certainly do not disqualify your business from receiving the ERC funds. The qualification process is extremely thorough. Our team will go through gross receipts, revenue sectors. We'll look at your day-to-day operations, your supply chain, basically how the pandemic affected your day-to-day business throughout 2020 and 2021. The scope of engagement is pretty straightforward. You can connect us with your CPA, your bookkeeper, payroll team, so we can get all the documents necessary to file the ERC on your behalf. You'll complete our basic client questionnaire, get us any PPP loan information, provide us with your original 941 returns, so then we can file the 941X amended returns with the IRS and claim the ERC funds. We do not guarantee any specific refund amount until we have all your payroll data and we can run the calculations. We do guarantee that our calculations are accurate. We do guarantee that our filings with the IRS as a paid preparer are compliant with program rules and regulations. And we do provide long-term audit support and carry E&O insurance with up to $1 million per client. The service fee structure creates zero risk for business owners who decide to work with Jorns & Associates. We have a contingency fee of 20% on the amount of credits delivered, and we charge a fully refundable deposit of $2,600 due at signing. If for whatever reason your company does not qualify for the ERC program, we refund the $2,600 immediately. If you do qualify, then we'll invoice you for the 20% contingency fee minus the $2,600 deposit you paid at signing. So that is credited towards your fee. So if you get paid by the IRS, you owe us money. If you don't get any money from the IRS, you owe us nothing. We have software perform calculations to eliminate human error, and we have a fully audit-ready package, which includes our compliance services. If you want to move forward with our ERC program, the associate that you're working with can send you an engagement letter that you can sign, remit the fully refundable deposit, provide us with your completed questionnaire and the required documents, your revenue spreadsheet, the 941s, the payroll documents, your PPP loan details. We'll have an onboarding specialist assigned to your file so you have a point of contact to help you through this process from beginning to end. Our CPAs will prepare all the filing documents, send it over for your team to review. The documents will be signed, mailed to the IRS, and in approximately 14 to 20 weeks, you'll receive your check from the IRS. Once you get paid, we'll have you pay us the remaining balance for the contingency fee, and that's due after you get your check. There's plenty of information about the ERC on the irs.gov website. You have to go through all the different PDFs, and you can also review the CARES Act, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, and now the new infrastructure bill will have an effect on the guidance. So you have to keep up with everything, which our team will do that on your behalf. The bottom line is there's over $1 trillion earmarked right now for businesses just like yours. And right now, that $1 trillion+ is sitting in the United States Treasury's account. Connect with one of our associates today and let us help you move those funds out of the Treasury's account and into your business account where they truly belong.